Broncos Nation, if you watch that game live, you are probably still trying to figure out what exactly happened out there. Because what started as just another preseason tune-up turned into a full-blown 33-13 beatdown at the hands of the Green Bay Packers. And folks, this one is going to sting for a lot longer than a typical exhibition loss should. We are talking about a Denver Broncos team that got out-muscled, out-schemed, and honestly out-hustled for most of 60 minutes. And if you are the kind of fan who pays attention to the details, there were some seriously alarming trends buried in this box score that Broncos country needs to talk about before the real games start counting. Stick with me here because we are going to break down every single ugly detail from this one. And trust me, there's a lot to unpack. But before we get into it, if you've not already done so, smash that subscribe button right now. We are chasing down 1,000 subscribers on this channel, and every single one of you watching right now can help us get there. So hit subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and let us dive into this preseason disaster together. Let us start with the moment that actually had Broncos fans excited, because for about 5 minutes in the first quarter, this looked like it might be a feel-good story. Green Bay struck first, with Jordan Love finding tight end Malik Lloyd on an 11-yard touchdown to put the Packers up 7-0 early. But Denver answered right back, and this is the part you need to see because it was Bo Nix connecting with rookie receiver Ryan Harvey on a beautiful 21-yard strike down the right sideline for the touchdown. That is right, Bo Nix, the guy this entire fan base has pinned its championship hopes on, came out firing and made an absolute statement throw to level the score at 7 apiece. For a few minutes, Empower Field felt electric. It felt like the Bo Nix and Ryan Harvey connection was about to become the story of training camp. And look, in isolation, that throw was exactly what you want to see from your franchise quarterback. Anticipation, arm strength, touch on a deep ball. If that was the only stat sheet we had to look at tonight, we would be celebrating. Unfortunately, Broncos Nation, that touchdown ended up being basically the high point of the entire night. Because everything after that first quarter started to unravel in ways that should have every single person in the Dove Valley front office taking notes. Because right after that opening spark, Denver's defense completely lost the plot. Will Lutz did give the Broncos a brief lead with a 53-yard field goal to make it 10-7, and that kick alone tells you Denver's specialists are locked in, no complaints there. But from that point forward, it was all Green Bay. The Packers methodically marched down the field time and time again, and Denver's defense simply could not get off the field. Green Bay finished this game with 299 total yards compared to Denver's 225, and the time of possession battle was not close either, with the Packers holding the ball for 32 minutes and 43 seconds against Denver's 2017. That is a defense that spent the majority of the night on the field gasping for air, and when your defense cannot get off the field on third down, bad things start to happen fast. And bad things did happen. Green Bay scored on 3 straight possessions to close out the first half, starting with backup quarterback Tyler Taylor, finding Wesley Shepard on a short touchdown pass, then adding not one but 2 more field goals before halftime, including a 59-yarder that just kept sailing through the uprights like it was nothing. By the time the teams went to the locker room, Green Bay was up 23-10, and Broncos fans everywhere were left wondering where exactly this defense had gone. This was supposed to be a unit with an identity, a group that hits, that swarms, that makes life miserable for opposing quarterbacks. Instead, across the entire game, Denver's defense managed just a single sack while allowing Green Bay quarterbacks to complete 21 of 34 attempts for 191 yards and 2 touchdowns with 0 interceptions. 0. On the flip side, Green Bay's defense came up with an interception of their own and racked up 2 sacks, consistently getting into the backfield and making Denver's offensive line look overwhelmed for long stretches. Now, before we go any further, I need every single one of you to hit that like button right now. It genuinely helps this channel grow. And if we are being honest with each other, breaking down this stuff in detail so you do not have to sit through the whole broadcast is exactly why this channel exists. We are closing in on 1,000 subscribers. And honestly, with the season right around the corner, this is the perfect time to lock in and be part of this journey with us. So smash that subscribe button, drop a comment, tell me what you thought of tonight's game, and let us keep rolling through the rest of this breakdown. Because it only got messier from there. In the third quarter, Denver managed to answer with one more Will Lutz field goal, a 38-yarder that cut the deficit to 13 to 23. And for a brief moment, you might have thought Denver had a chance to claw back into this thing. But that is where the good vibes stopped completely. The fourth quarter belonged entirely to Green Bay. Running back Journey Nixon punched in a 3-yard rushing touchdown to push the lead to 30. And then Green Bay's kicker put the exclamation point on the night with yet another field goal, this one from 38 yards out, to make the final score 33 to 13. Green Bay's kicking unit alone finished 4 for 4 on the night, including makes from 49 and 59 yards, which tells you the margin for error against a team playing that clean in the kicking game basically evaporated the moment Denver started shooting itself in the foot elsewhere. And speaking of shooting themselves in the foot, we have to talk about the penalties because this is where things get genuinely concerning heading into roster cutdowns. Denver was flagged 10 times for 79 yards on the night, 10 penalties in a preseason game where you are supposedly trying to clean up the little things before week 1 matters. Green Bay, by comparison, was penalized just 5 times for 51 yards. That is a massive discipline gap, and when you are already losing the field position battle and the time of possession battle, self-inflicted penalties just pour gasoline on the fire. Every holding call, every false start, every defensive pass interference flag extends Green Bay's drives and shortens Denver's window to answer. If this were the regular season, we would be having a very different, much angrier conversation right now about discipline and coaching. In the preseason, the silver lining is that this is exactly the kind of thing coaches can identify on film and correct before it actually costs the team a real game. But make no mistake, Broncos Nation, 10 penalties against a team you are supposedly using as a tune-up opponent is not a good look, and it better get cleaned up fast. Let us also give credit where it is due, because Bo Nix, outside of that one gorgeous touchdown throw to Ryan Harvey, actually had a pretty productive stat line overall. Denver's passing attack finished with 17 completions on 26 attempts for 168 yards, and that one touchdown, but it also came with an interception, and Nix was sacked twice on the night. The completion percentage sits at a respectable 65%, and a passer rating of 80.3 is not embarrassing by any stretch for a preseason outing. But it is also not the kind of performance that silences any doubters heading into final roster evaluations. The concerning part is the inconsistency. One drive you see the Bo Nix who lit up the league last season, slinging a strike 21 yards downfield with anticipation and touch. The next drive, you see pressure getting home, an interception being thrown, and drives stalling out in Denver territory. If Nix wants to walk into week 1 with the full confidence of this fan base behind him, these are the exact situations where he needs to be the steadying presence, not the guy who gives the ball away. And can we talk about the run game for a second? Because this might be the most alarming number in the entire box score. Denver rushed 22 times for just 70 yards, an average of 3.182 yards per carry, with 0 rushing touchdowns. 0. Meanwhile, Green Bay ran the ball 32 times for 118 yards and a touchdown, averaging 3.688 yards per carry. That gap in rushing efficiency, combined with the fact that Denver could not punch anything in on the ground, is exactly the kind of thing that should have offensive line coaches watching film deep into the night. You cannot live and die by the pass in this league, especially not when your quarterback is still building chemistry with the receiver room that is fighting for roster spots as we speak. Speaking of that roster bubble, this game could not have come at a more pivotal time. With final 53-man roster decisions looming on the horizon, every single snap in a game like this carries weight for players fighting to make this football team. Ryan Harvey has to be feeling good about himself tonight after hauling in that touchdown for Nix, a play that absolutely helps his case heading into final cuts. On the flip side, there are players up and down this roster, particularly along the offensive and defensive lines, who did not exactly help themselves with a performance like this. When your team gets out physical for 60 minutes, gives up 299 yards to essentially a rotation of backups and depth pieces, and racks up 10 penalties in the process. That tape gets watched very closely by decision makers who are trying to figure out who deserves a roster spot and who does not. This is exactly the kind of game where careers on the bubble either get a boost or take a serious hit. And Broncos Nation, we are going to be watching those roster cuts extremely closely to see how tonight's performance actually shakes out. Now, look, I know what some of you are thinking, and you are right to think it. This is preseason. The final score does not go on Denver's regular season record. Plenty of playoff teams have laid an egg in a meaningless August game before going on to have fantastic seasons. That context matters, and I am not sitting here telling you to panic like your season is already over before it even started, but context does not erase the trends, and the trends from tonight are worth paying attention to. A defense that could not get off the field, a run game that could not find any traction whatsoever, a penalty problem that needs to get fixed immediately. These are coachable issues, sure, but they are also issues that better show real improvement over the next couple of weeks. Because once week 1 rolls around, nobody is going to care that it happened in a preseason game against a rotation of backups. The clock is ticking, and this coaching staff knows it. What did you all think watching this one unfold? Are you concerned about this defense after tonight, or are you firmly in the camp that preseason results simply do not matter and we should all just relax? I want to hear from you directly, so drop a comment down below and let us get a real conversation going, because that is what this channel is all about. We break down the games, we call out the good and the bad, honestly, and we build this community together, one video at a time. And that brings us to the end of this breakdown, Broncos Nation. But before you go anywhere, I need you to do 3 quick things for me. First, if you have not already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button right now. We are so close to hitting 1,000 subscribers on this channel, and every single person watching this video can be the one who pushes us over that milestone. Second, smash that like button, because it genuinely tells the platform to put this content in front of more Broncos fans just like you, and this channel only grows because people like you take those few seconds to support it. And third, drop a comment below with your honest thoughts on tonight's game, because I read every single one and I want to know what Broncos Nation is thinking heading into the next preseason matchup. Turn on that notification bell too, so you never miss a breakdown the moment a game wraps up. We have got plenty more preseason coverage coming. We have got roster cut analysis on the way, and we are going to be tracking every single storyline as this team heads toward week 1. So subscribe, like, comment, and I will see all of you Broncos faithful in the very next
Hey everyone, I'm working to hit 2,000 subscribers and I need your help to get there. If you enjoy the content, please hit that subscribe button right now.